Bop. Oh wait, no, that's not an intro. That's
Welcome back to the podcast. You are listening to Launch Speed. I'm Brendan, and sitting to my left and or right, because he's right in front of me, is Zach.
Hey guys, thanks for letting us be your number one podcast.
Don't forget to tell all of your friends about us, and reach out to us at launchspeedpodcast@gmail.com. It is spelled exactly how it sounds.
And for those who don't know how to spell, that's unfortunate. We're not giving it out. There's a small IQ test involved with this one. I hope you enjoy the show.
There's multiple shapes and sizes. There's a side that a real fat guy is just a bear and it's hitting an animal.
No, it's not going to hit a bear.
Well, yeah, I know that. It will determine the
Launch speed?
Stop! I'm trying to think. I'm trying to put my words together. You're rushing me.
Am I helping?
No, not at all. No one else can see my hands.
Welcome to Launch Speed.
Let's start on Valentine's Day.
Let's start on Valentine's Day, okay?
Did you do anything special for Valentine's
So
Day?
yeah, I'm excited about this one. So
Because you played video games with me all afternoon, so I know you didn't do anything.
well, forget about that. So I didn't mention anything about Valentine's Day to Casey, like, for several weeks beforehand. Didn't mention anything. And I made her a nice ass cutting board, and she thought that I forgot about it.
What is you and cutting? Can you do a different piece of furniture?
I did.
Not
I
even
did
furniture.
the bench.
Not
All right. Well, just because I've made so many and given them away or sold them, and she was like, "Why don't we have one?" And I was like, "Okay." But yeah, so she thought I forgot about Valentine's Day, and she got home and bam, out of left field, fucking nice ass present, thoughtful, handmade. I won.
what?
There was a contest. I won.
Did she get you anything?
She got me some real nice socks, which is incredibly useful because my last ones are probably older than our relationship, and most of them have holes in them now. So,
See, socks are great
socks are great
at all times. I think they're the best gift no matter
It's
what
a
time
good,
of year.
especially when you don't really feel like going out and buying socks. You just wear through the old ones.
So since you won Valentine's Day, I also won Valentine's Day because it was just me.
Yeah, we can't lose if there's nobody to play against.
All of my relationships have ended before Valentine's Day.
Every single one of them.
Besides one, I think.
One was going on during Valentine's Day.
Every other time it started afterwards, and then things got rocky and ended shortly. So Valentine's Day has never been really like a day for me that I care about.
Do you call it Singles Awareness Day?
No, because I liked everyone's photos they put on Instagram. Like, I thought everything was adorable and cute. Like, I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
I'm not jealous.
Yeah. I think Casey put a wedding picture on Instagram.
She did, and don't worry, I liked it. I don't think your brother posted.
Care.
I don't think your brother posted a video or a picture of his dog for Valentine's Day, but I wouldn't have liked that one.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had.
So, did you see anything about Valentine's Day that kind of like, I don't want to say like rocked your world because that'd be weird. I'm saying like gift ideas that you'd never thought of before.
I'd have to say no.
Yeah, same.
Did you?
No.
You just said that.
Bouquet of flowers. Doesn't have to be roses. Just any flowers.
Yeah. Pretty standard gift.
So original.
My boss last year was like he
was
drove
like
yeah. He was like, I gotta go to the store and get chocolates and flowers, and I was like, they're so expensive on Valentine's Day. Why don't you buy them the day after, the day before, the year before, like any other day of the year?
Buy flowers a year before Valentine's Day.
Well, maybe not the flowers. Tell you what, I would like one of those edible arrangements. I think maybe next year, assuming I remember, I'll give Casey one of those edible arrangements for Valentine's Day.
Do you know how expensive they are?
I've gotten one before, yeah.
They're-
One time I went to Casey's family's for Thanksgiving, so I missed my family's, and I felt really bad, so I sent my mom a edible arrangement. She said it was awesome.
So she could eat her feelings?
Yeah. She probably had the least out of it. I'm pretty sure my brother and my dad probably just demolished it.
What is it just any kind of fruit?
I think it's several kinds of fruit. Some of them are like dipped in chocolate and stuff.
That's one thing I just can't stand. I can't stand
Really?
chocolate or fruit dipped in chocolate.
Why?
I don't know.
Chocolate covered cherries, chocolate covered
Oh.
strawberries.
I
What would you say is the worst fruit if you had to pick?
the worst fruit,
Yeah.
blueberries.
Blueberries.
I hate blueberries
Casey would definitely say honeydew.
because it's a disappointing cantaloupe.
Disappointed cantaloupe.
I love honeydew.
See, I think that the flavor is like really good, but there's just not quite enough of it. It's like super mild. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay. You're just looking at me like I'm crazy. I
Well,
mean,
I just think you're an idiot all the time.
okay, yeah, it's fair. Well, whatever. Something else good this week. We've discovered that Drifter, our dog, does not have kidney disease because
that is a good thing
it
to
was
find
a
out.
possibility. His last blood test came back with some concerning results, but he was just probably dehydrated and blood was a little screwed up because of his almost surgery,
That's right.
almost mouth surgery. So
Right.
that's exciting.
So how many times have you gone to the vet in the last 2 weeks?
I don't want to count. A lot. Probably 5.
That
Well, I'd say 3 weeks. Probably
3
5
weeks,
times
right.
in 3
Gotcha.
weeks. Yeah. Yeah.
I forgot to start 3
But-
weeks ago.
He's getting better. He'll be all right.
But so honeydew, so you answered for Casey. What is your least favorite fruit?
It would probably be the durian. Do you know what that is?
I do. I've
It's
never
the-
had it though,
okay,
so I can't.
It's the
judge
big
It.
brown spiky thing
Yes.
that apparently I haven't had either.
Why are you going?
I
on
like
with
it the least just based on concept because it tastes to a lot of people like baby throw up. I don't know why people are tasting baby throw up, but that's
Yeah.
what I've heard. At least smells.
Okay, the fruit that you've had in your life. What is your least favorite one?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would probably have to go with.
Still waiting on your answer here.
I say apples are pretty disappointing.
Apples.
Yeah.
One of the most diverse piece of fruit you can have.
What do you
'Cause
mean
a
diverse?
Like Granny Smith and a Red Delicious, or I think that's what it's called.
Golden delicious?
Golden Delicious. Those are two very different tasting apples.
So? It's just
You're just
not.
gonna write off the whole apple family.
Let's go with sweet apples. I like the tart apples.
So you like a Granny Smith?
Sure, why not?
You okay? That well, everyone's entitled to their opinion, even if they're wrong.
I don't know. I like most fruit, I guess, except for durian, which I've never had.
You've just seen it on the cooking shows your wife makes you watch. Dude, you put a lot of video game news in this rundown.
Let's skip that. Let's
We're
save
not
that
doing
to
any of
the
it?
Actually, that's not actually all that much. Let's do other stuff first.
Okay.
So last week I said that there are more tigers in Texas in captivity than in the wild in the
Yes.
rest of the world.
Please tell me that was wrong.
It might be wrong.
Okay.
There's no actual numbers, but it's estimated between 300 and 5,000 tigers in Texas, and it's estimated between 5,000 and 25,000 tigers in the United States. So, either way, there's more tigers in the United States in captivity than there are in the wild and the rest of the world.
Yeah, okay.
So that's interesting. But I have a story to go along with that.
Okay.
So in Texas,
in Texas.
somebody broke into an abandoned house because he was looking for a place to smoke some weed. He broke into this abandoned house.
Tell me, it had a tiger in
It
it.
had a tiger in it.
What a
He calls the cops and he says, "There's a tiger in this house." But he'd already smoked some weed. So they thought he was hallucinating.
Did they come and find out that it was actually a tiger?
They came and found out, and it was actually a tiger that somebody was keeping in an abandoned house.
So this guy didn't get hurt or anything?
Not to my knowledge. I don't think
That's
so.
His story would have been way more interesting.
He died.
Not died, just had
Slight maiming.
slight maiming would have been fine. Like a leg bite or something.
Bite wounds to the face.
Oh, did you see what that guy looks like, the runner?
I didn't.
He looks like your average Joe. And now he's got this brutal scar that runs across his nose and across his cheek.
He's going to get so many chicks.
I know.
Well, if he's not already in a
Married.
relationship. Yeah. What a guy. For anyone who doesn't know, that's talking about a runner who strangled a mountain lion Yeah, mountain lion to death. We talked about it in our last podcast. You should go give that a listen.
Well, I want to
Plugging ourselves.
This is one thing I wanted to add on to. So I was reading up on the story again because I wanted to actually find out who this guy was.
Mm-hmm.
And the article reported it as only 10 minutes.
Oh,
It only took him 10 minutes. Just like,
only
10 minutes is a very relative.
I mean, you remember wrestling matches in high school
Were
6 minutes of sheer agony.
They could have been about 3 hours long in my mind. Imagine 10 minutes of fighting
a juvenile mountain lion.
Juvenile mountain lion. But I like how they just wrote it off as only. Like, that's 10 minutes.
Not even an accomplishment.
If it had been 15,
What a pansy. He couldn't keep it going longer than
just
that.
thought it was funny that they included only in there.
Only. Apparently it wasn't a fair fight.
Yeah, he brought his hands. He needs to register those in Texas as weapons.
Except he lives in Colorado.
Oh, right. That's... Yeah, we all stuck up on Texas.
Bang, bang.
It's all right. More animal news, though. We have polar bears in Russia.
Did you see this or hear about it?
Actually, no, I do know the story.
Yeah. There's a small town in remote Russia.
Isn't all of Russia remote besides Moscow?
Yeah. So there are these local polar bears, which the article that I read said that they're hungry because of climate change. Either way, they're definitely hungry. So they're invading the settlement, looking through windows, attacking people, breaking into abandoned buildings. There was an old Russian military building that the bears were living in, so they had to demolish the building because it was that big of an issue. But they're endangered. So the people who live in this town
Can't kill them.
So they just have to deal with polar bears.
Have they thought about using Coca-Cola? I heard there's a huge ad on that one.
So that reminds me, there's actually a place in North America, I forget where it is, where it's actually illegal to lock your car because if somebody's trying to escape a bear, they might need to use your car for refuge.
Is this like a remote place?
Yes.
Okay.
But there's so many bears that it's you gotta leave your car unlocked in case somebody needs to escape a bear.
I totally get that though. If I lived in a place where that was a problem and they're like, listen, you shouldn't lock your car. I'm like, oh, I don't lock it anyway, but well, that doesn't mean I lock it now, just so everyone knows. But I wouldn't lock it then because you're right. I wouldn't want to just get back to my car and just see a carcass next to it and be like, ooh.
Whoops.
His arms still attached to the handle. Could have made it.
But here's the thing. Just don't live in a place like that.
That's true.
Don't live in a place where you need to have your car unlocked.
It's like bragging about how many toothpicks you can fit in your eyeball. Good for you. No one cares.
You're killing me. Oh. Did you watch any of the Grammys?
No, I did see some outrage about it because what they were doing was they were running out of time, so they were just cutting people off. They were just kicking them off stage, be like, you're done. You got...
Ooh.
Apparently there's cut off music and whatnot that they play to let everyone know that it's time to wrap up. But then some people they gave no notice to and just turned the mic off. They did that to Drake, but he was going on a monologue about how bad the Grammys were, so I totally get them shutting him off.
He was going on about how bad the Grammys were during the Grammys.
Yeah, he went up on stage and said that all these awards don't really matter, and they're from people who don't really know your music anyway.
He's a sore winner. That's terrible. That's annoying. I heard that I think it was the tech awards got done during commercials, so nobody actually got to see them.
What production awards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Production tech.
Well, nobody cared about them anyway. There's a reason why they're at the end of credits. Do we have any more bear news to go? Not bear, animal news to go on. We got your dog out of the way. We got the update on the bobcat or mountain lion.
So there are a lot of bears in Oregon and Washington.
Okay. Do you have is this a story on it?
It was a segue. Speaking of Oregon and Washington, they're actually making bills to require vaccination or proposing bills to require vaccination because it's such a big issue in these areas.
And they're having measles outbreaks?
Also, I was wrong on the statistic that I said last week. There are only, I think it's 52 confirmed measles cases as of when when I read that. So, but I also read that some people believe a few things. One of them is that the measles vaccine is useless, and that it doesn't actually prevent measles.
Okay.
That's pretty easy to disprove. Another one they believe is that measles is harmless.
Have these people? Has any individuals died yet? I pray they haven't, but
I actually didn't see that.
okay.
I didn't see that. But I'm pretty sure measles is one of those things that'll have long-term effects on you either way. Like, it can damage your brain. But anyways, anti-vaxxers think that measles is harmless. But the most absurd one that I read is that some anti-vax people thinks that measles actually cures cancer. And I'm not making this up. This is actually some fake news running around in the world.
Measles can cure cancer.
Yeah. Apparently. I've never been on live television. Along with that, Facebook has announced that they're going to try their very best to stop anti-vaccination fake news from spreading. So, that's good. But enough about anti-vax.
Hold up, nope. I got one more.
Okay.
One more thing to add on anti-vax. I meant to write it down. So they're so pressed on the autism link to, or vaccinations and autism, they're linked together.
Mm-hmm.
They funded this huge study, and the results came back, and it debunked everything they'd been saying about it. They funded a good study that said, well, autism's not linked to vaccinations. We apologize.
Oh. Well, that settles it.
I just want to know if they're thinking like, well, that's one test, or no, that's one big study. We'll just do another one. Which I'm
Probably.
at this point, I'm actually okay with, because they're advancing research and educating people more and more about why you should be vaccinated.
Right. So along with the same legislation thing, Trump this week signed what is called the American AI Initiative, which is more or less a high-level plan to regulate responsible AI development and fund AI research. Also this week, some company that Elon Musk owns created an AI that can write text, more or less. It can take a sample and then continue writing, one of the things it can do. And they thought that it's so dangerous that they stopped it. They stopped development. So
What did it write down?
I don't know. Apparently it was just too real. So they came up with a fake news snippet and did like a one paragraph, and they gave the machine this one paragraph, and then it wrote 9 additional paragraphs that sounded a whole lot like the first paragraph. I mean, it was about unicorns. I did actually read it. It was about unicorns, but that was just an example.
Well, AI's coming so far, and it's coming along so quickly.
And it's hopefully it's a good idea to have some sort of regulation on AI, or at least some sort of insight by a power with authority like the U.S. government. But if they would actually need to follow up on their more or less promise to regulate AI and keep up to date with it, which is no one's going to hold them to that but themselves.
Yeah. The company's going to be like, no, of course not. This AI doesn't have its own thought processes, and, it didn't kill somebody last week. I don't know why I held my hand up like I was whispering to you in this mic.
No one else can see my hands right now.
But going on the Oregon and Washington,
we're back to that?
Well, we just have Amazon. Isn't that where the headquarters are?
Yeah, that's true.
Is that in Washington?
Washington, Seattle.
So we have Amazon self-driving car.
Yeah, they invested, I think it was 500 something million in a self-driving car startup. So they are in the game now. They're just another big tech company in the game of autonomous vehicles. It is getting a lot of funding right now.
It is. Either it's a new fad or it's really the way to go.
I think it's the way things are gonna go.
Yeah.
Don't we have a whole episode on this?
Did we even release it?
Oh, that's right. We had an episode on automation, not autonomous vehicles.
Yeah, that autonomous vehicle one's got canned. I sound like a kook the whole way through. But last thing on vehicles, Tesla Model 3 You wrote most satisfying to own from Consumer Reports.
Yeah.
What Consumer Report are you reading this off?
Consumer Reports did a study of, or I guess surveys of all vehicles for the 2017 or 18 model year, and the Tesla Model 3 came out as the most satisfying vehicle to own. Also on that list was the Toyota Prius. So basically what I'm getting from this is that if you own a Tesla, you really like a Tesla. It's just this is I just thought it was a useless statistic.
No, because no one's just on the fence about buying a Tesla. You're
Right.
either in or you're out.
Right. It's just like if you're in the cult, then you like the cult.
Yeah.
Right? That's all this is. I just thought it was, I don't know, stupid.
Just one of those self-proving stats. Like, wow, look at all these owners who spent $100,000 on an electric vehicle. They better love it.
Yeah. Although the Model 3 is only, I think, 60,000.
Okay, well,
Still, the concept is the same. So AT&T is coming out with a streaming service, which is neither here nor there. But it's just, I looked up the other day how many streaming services there are, and there are dozens of them. And what it's going to end up being like is now you pay, let's just call it $100 a month for cable TV. And in order to get that same level of programming, you're going to be paying $100 a month in 10 different streaming services.
Yeah.
So, and like with Disney splitting off from Netflix and taking back all their IP, intellectual property, it's just, yeah, you're just going to end up having to buy multiple streaming services if you want to watch stuff.
I think I'm going to stick with the two I have.
Yeah.
I might get HBO just because they do have good shows, and I want to have access to the new Game of Thrones season coming out.
I might get HBO just for Game of Thrones and then quit.
I would also
cancel.
I might also do that as well.
Yeah. Or I'll leech off of somebody else. So Toyota has promised that they will have autonomous vehicles out by the year 2020. That's next year, dude. That is super close.
I was about to say 8 months away, but there's 12 months in a year, so bad math on my part. That's 10 months away. Subaru sweatshops. I find this hard to believe that a foreign producer has a sweatshop going on for their cars.
So that's a bit of an exaggeration. But Subaru's monumental success in the United States over the last 10 years, I think they've had record sales every year for the last 10 years. Their factories are just so incredibly busy that they are working people to death.
Have they put nets around their building yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
Was that Apple who did that?
I think, yeah, there's the people who made the iPhone in China.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
He says as he looks at his iPhone.
You're part of the problem, man. So while we're on the subject of Japan, I saw somebody stole a bonsai tree. Well, several bonsai trees. And this wouldn't be news, except for this particular bonsai tree that he stole was 400 years old and worth $90,000.
Did he steal it because of the value?
He did.
Okay.
Some guy had a couple acres of bonsai trees, which would probably be the most absurd looking forest you've ever seen. Just little trees everywhere. And so the thief came back multiple nights in a row and grabbed the oldest trees first because they're the most valuable.
Didn't the owner also put out instructions on how to care for the bonsai tree?
That's right.
I want to make sure you included that.
Sorry.
I think that's literally turning the other cheek. Well, you stole it, but would you at least take care of it while you
Please
have
take
it?
care of it. Yeah, it can't survive a day. I think he said it can't survive a day without water.
Dude, bonsai trees are nuts.
Yeah.
Have you been to the Arboretum over in DC?
I have not.
They've got a little bonsai forest, and there's ones that have been, from feudal Japan. Not feudal.
Feudal? No.
How long was feudal Japan? How long ago?
600 years?
Not
Maybe.
quite. There's a couple 500-year-old trees, I believe, in there.
Okay, that would still seem like feudal Japan to me.
It just
I don't
is.
know the actual dates.
It's just nuts that they these trees, one, last so long, and two, they're put in such intricate designs.
Designs?
Yeah. So
Are they shaping them?
Yeah. So they trim them and they attach wires to them to pull the branches in a certain way.
Is that why they have the shape that they do normally, or is this something else?
I think that's why they have the shape.
Hmm.
Because the whole point of a bonsai tree is to like show like love and tender care to something, and it takes a lot of care to like get these trees the way you want them to be.
Sounds like a waste of money and time.
I don't have an answer for you. I'm not into bonsai tree, so I can't answer that question.
Good.
Oh, speaking of doing loving, tender, and care to things in your life, I don't treat myself well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You got something to say? You're going to expand on that, I should say?
I am going to expand a little bit.
Please do.
So, you know how you're supposed to go to the grocery store like once a week to buy yourself fresh vegetables, fresh food, cook for yourself?
Right.
I have been going to the grocery store twice a week, not every 2 weeks. And I've been buying 12 chicken pot pies and 4 frozen pizzas. And that is all I've had in the last 14 days.
Wow.
I have. And also, since I ran out and I ate the pot pies, like I was supposed to have 2 a night. Instead, I did like 4 in a night. Because, yeah, I can't.
They're so small and so few calories each.
They're like 360 calories a piece, so.
That's actually not too bad.
No. I thought they were like.
If you eat 3 square meals a day and don't snack, then theoretically each one should be about 650 calories.
But I've also been ordering Domino's.
Wow.
And eating half of a.
God, you eat like shit.
Eating half a pizza and more than half of the brownie cookie platter they do.
Wow.
Dude.
What, like, when you get it? That night?
That night I do that, and the next night I do that, and finish everything off.
It's making me sick just thinking about it.
I currently have 2 half pizzas sitting in my fridge.
Why? Why would you have 2 half pizzas?
Well, so I was at work one night, and I ordered pizza there, and then I brought it home, and then the next night I ordered pizza again, and then when I put it in the fridge, I realized I still had pizza from the other night.
Way to go, dude. Way to go. You don't even bother looking in the fridge to see if you have food first. You just assume that you don't.
Yep. And then laundry.
What about it?
So I do laundry.
Good.
Once every 2 weeks because I only have about 14 outfits I wear to work.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of my clothes, which you would think I wear all the time because they're everywhere. But the thing is, I've run into this problem is the clothes that I wear every day to work, and those 14 outfits, they always make it in the laundry. But if I wear anything else, it kind of like finds its way somewhere else. And then I looked in my drawer today, and I've got nothing in there, nothing in my 4 drawers.
Way to go!
All of my clothes are all around my room, and I realized that I need help.
Yeah, you got to find a nice woman to. Or man, to cook for you, clean for you, do your chores for you.
When I get a new job, I'm honestly considering getting a maid.
Wow.
Have her come in once a week.
Ow.
Because it's almost worth my money at that point.
Or you could just take 20 minutes a day and straighten up.
No, I don't have 20 minutes a day.
Really?
Yeah.
How many minutes a day do you play video games?
What's 5 hours times...
Okay, all right. Point proven. Point proven.
5 hours.
Even if just in between games you were to clean up stuff, that you would have it done.
That would be an idea.
That's something you could do feasibly. Or like if you're playing Fortnite and you die early and you have to watch your squad.
That's the thing. I don't die early. I'm the best player there is, so I never die.
Okay, good to know. I'll see you at the next tournament.
Yeah, but to add on to this maid thing, I'm saying all women need to be maids, but talking to women when you're not in college anymore is a massive problem.
Meaning, because you don't meet them?
I haven't met a single woman in the last 6 months. I realized that after my relationship ended, that I've not met anybody.
Okay, your relationship has only ended 2 months ago.
2 months ago. I'm just saying, but
okay.
I've never gone out, never gone to the bars. and I don't ever plan on it because they just don't appeal to me anymore. Going to a bar scene just seems ridiculous.
You know, you have all these issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you're listing, and I could think of one single solution for all of these issues.
What is that?
Stop playing video games. You could meet women, do your laundry, cook for yourself. And it's not like you don't like cooking.
No, I
You're
love
just
cooking.
lazy.
I love cooking. When I get the ingredients to do like an awesome meal, I'm all about it. If it takes me 3 hours to cook it, I'm fine.
So are you going to... That's the thing I hate about cooking. You spend 3 hours cooking a meal and you spend 5 minutes eating it.
Yep.
But so are you going to do some like some dating apps? Actual dating apps? Not Tinder.
No, don't plan on using a dating app. Forever alone.
All right, well, if there's any ladies out there who are interested in a worthless piece of shit, send us an email, launchspeedpodcast@gmail.com.
You already know what the baggage that I come with. And on other news of my life, since I want to just get it all out of the way, since there's not much of it, looking to buy a new car, or just buy a car. It doesn't have to be a new car. I called a place over in Pennsylvania because they had a car that I was interested in, and they have it listed $4,000 more than it's worth at its best quality.
Mm-hmm.
And I called them and I asked them, why is it listed at $4,000 above the Kelley Blue Book value for basically a brand new
like
car.
New?
Yeah. And they were telling me all these features it has, and I'm like, but those are standard for that vehicle. And they're telling me that, well, this is a sports package. And I was like, I'm looking at the sports package right now on Kelley Blue Book, and it's $12,000, and you have it listed for $16,000. I will offer you $12,500. And the guy literally got mad at me.
Wow.
I offended him for offering such a low price, and he hung up the phone.
He wants your sale.
I was like, what a douche.
Jesus. That's so... I don't know. Used cars, man, it's used, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, used cars, man, are so sketchy. I'd say probably all people who sell cars are sketchy, but it's their job to be sketchy and get you to buy it.
Yeah, they just want you to get in the vehicle, because I think it's above 50% closure rate if you get the person in the vehicle to test drive it.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Because most people, they've done all the research on the vehicle, so they're pretty much set on that kind of vehicle, and if you get them in it, they're happy with what they get.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I did that.
Yeah.
I test drove a car. I was like, yeah, I like it. Let's buy
Because
it.
the test drive's like the last stage of buying a car.
Besides buying it, yeah.
Yes, besides taking the money, going to a bank and saying, can I be in your debt for the next 6 years?
Yeah.
So I'm still looking for that specific vehicle on a better deal.
Which is that the Audi or is
That's the Audi.
That's the Audi.
If anyone has an Audi RS6 available for sale around $12,000, $13,000, I could be a little bit lenient. Hit me up.
Send us an email, launchspeedpodcast@gmail.com.
That's all I've got for my life currently. My current update, my status would be disgusted.
As am I.
Any update of your status? Since I just went in deep on mine.
Not really. Believe it or not, once you're married, life doesn't really change all that much.
That doesn't sound healthy or bad. It just sounds kind of stale.
I wouldn't say that.
That's kind of what you just said.
It's
Your
it's
marriage is
comfortable.
stale?
I'm happy where we are. There's nothing new and exciting going on right this second.
You can always edit this out.
But
if
there
you
will
answer
be.
honestly.
I am answering honestly.
Whatever you say, bud. Whatever you say.
We're trying to figure out what we want to do for like vacation this year because
What are you guys thinking?
we haven't really talked much about it, but we
Wow,
want to
so
do
you're
something.
Really figuring it out.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out. We want to do something.
I want to go to the fucking beach with you guys.
That would be so sweet.
That would be.
All of us going down there for a week.
All
We should work on that.
We should, because we're adults and we can make our own plans these days.
It's weird because you don't realize that. So I saw an article this week about a 16-year-old girl So she testified at a congressional hearing about climate change, and she feels like she was ignored. And this article thought that was some sort of injustice, that this 16-year-old was ignored about an incredibly complicated scientific matter.
Is she a scientist?
No.
Is she like in college as a 16-year-old?
No.
So what leg is she standing on?
None.
How'd she even get in the congressional hearing?
I don't know. I was kind of wondering about that. It didn't say it in the article.
Were they going for the future generation pity?
Possibly. I mean, there's some sort of... She's part of some sort of youth group thing about climate change.
Okay.
But, I mean, what do you expect? You have absolutely no knowledge or expertise. You basically, the best you could do is anecdotal evidence and then reading other studies that people have done.
Yeah.
Which anybody can do that. So, it's just, I'm just like,
And I would hope
why would they listen to her?
Yeah. I would say I wish they had listened to her, but I also would have ignored her. Not because she's 16 years old and a girl or whatever, just because if she has no scientific bearing, I don't care for her public, professional opinion.
Right. But also, you remember how stupid you were at 16? Why would you...
Yeah.
You know, enough said. I also saw an article about a YouTuber getting shot. So what he was doing, and apparently this is very common, YouTubers go up to, like, it's similar to what they do at Buckingham Palace. You know how the guards are supposed to sit there straight-faced and can't do anything? So people would go up to them and say stuff to them and try and get a reaction, like, while recording it.
It's all mostly innocent fun.
Sort of. So I saw a video one time of a Buckingham Palace guard punching somebody, just decking him out. But so this YouTuber was harassing, and so it's taken a bit of a different spin here in the U.S. These people are trying to aggravate law enforcement officers on camera in order to get them to slip up.
Okay.
Which is absurd.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's disgusting. But this YouTuber, I guess it was outside of a synagogue that's had some issues with violence.
Okay.
And threats directed at it. So they have a security guard, an armed security guard, maybe a police officer. And the YouTuber was harassing the law enforcement officer, and he was recording, and the law enforcement officer had his gun drawn on him and said, "If you move, I'm going to shoot you." And then the YouTuber keeps talking trash, and he gets shot. He gets shot in the leg by the guy.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah, it's like, believe it or not,
Is the law enforcement, like, is the officer in trouble?
Yes.
Okay.
He's in trouble. I can't remember if he's police, but he was definitely suspended upon further investigation.
Yeah. I guess there's no, besides, like, actually making threats, I guess being obnoxious doesn't qualify getting shot.
Yeah, but I mean,
sometimes
it's a lose-lose situation there.
I'm very sympathetic to that, of, like, sometimes they're just asking for it.
I know.
But I don't want people to get shot just because they've irritated somebody.
I mean, they're pretty much saying, please shoot me.
That is. But I just want to add on to it about YouTubers getting shot. I think it was last year, a YouTuber wanted to do a stunt video that was going to get him fame, and it did get him fame, but for all the wrong reasons. I feel terrible for his family. He convinced his girlfriend, who he had a child with, to take a .50 caliber handgun and shoot it at him. And he was holding, like, an encyclopedia or a dictionary or something. Yeah. And he was going to hold it up in front of his chest to stop the bullet. And he convinced her it was going to be a safe trick, and she shot and killed him.
Yep.
Because a .50 caliber round isn't stopped by a book.
Yep. They said they did a test, and it didn't go through the book. But
you couldn't pay me enough money to try that trick. No amount of money is worth my life.
No. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I feel terrible for him, for his family.
That reminds me of a Twitch streamer whose name is Sketchic. Yeah, we'll go with that, Sketchic. He went offline 3 years ago, 2015, so a little more than 3 years ago, claiming that he had terminal illness, and so he stopped streaming altogether.
Okay.
He came out last week.
He didn't have a terminal illness.
He didn't have a terminal illness. He just made it all up. Yeah. It's like, okay, first off, what do you gain from that? And second off, why?
Did he like do it to get a bunch of money from people?
I don't think so. I think he's just one of those people that's a psychopath, compulsive liars, and he just started this lie and kept it going and kept it going and kept it going, and if it's terminal, it's got to end somewhere. So he ended it by pretending to die, and now he's back streaming again, I believe.
I'm blown away by the stupidity and ignorance of people.
Zero respect for that guy. None whatsoever. It's just so incredibly stupid, especially if he got donations or money out of it.
And I'm sure he did. Being a streamer, they get money all the time.
I guess he probably did. It's just, it's really disgusting.
See, those people could get shot in the leg, in my opinion. He's got terminal stupidity.
So, I guess, kind of speaking of shooting yourself in the leg, or in this case, the foot, Amazon, they're planning on opening their second headquarters in Long Island.
Yes.
And they said, hey, Long Island, New York, whatever, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna create lots of jobs and lots of money and lots of tax dollars.
They backed out.
They backed out because New York said, no. They're afraid that jobs are going to be outsourced and that the area that Amazon was planning on opening the headquarters in would be further gentrified. And so they just lost out on billions of dollars in taxes.
Are they still opening the one in Virginia?
They're still opening the one in Virginia, and I believe another one in Nashville.
Okay. Was that the second bit?
That one came out of left field for me. I don't know where that originated because I only heard about it the last couple weeks. But maybe it had been in the plans all along. And going on that Amazon tangent, Jeff Bezos. Have you heard about his scandal recently?
I have not.
So he was sexting a...
Don't tell me she's underage.
No. But somebody that wasn't his wife. I forget exactly how he knew her. I want to say that she
Tinder.
worked for him or something. Somebody that was not his wife. And it's been pretty scandalous recently. I believe he's about to lose half of his fortune to his wife in a divorce, which is unfortunate.
That is.
Because that's like $90 billion.
I'm sure she's crying herself to sleep.
Yeah, at that point, might as well just divorce him. So I've seen a couple different things. One of them is that he was... that the data, the pictures or whatever were stolen by a government agency, which I find hard to believe. Another one is that I think it was the Daily Mail was blackmailing him, which I'd find easy to believe.
Yeah, Daily Mail is rather sketchy on their
I'd say so.
reporting.
And then the last one was one of the most ridiculous headlines I've ever read, and I'll read it to you here. It is. Why Saudi Arabia could be behind the Jeff Bezos extortion attempt. Saudi Arabia.
They're blaming a country now.
Blaming a country. So you know that the journalist that was killed by the Saudi government?
Yes.
He worked for the Washington Post.
Okay.
And when the Post covered it, they were very harsh about the whole issue because they had just lost a coworker who was executed by the Saudi Arabian government.
Yes.
I can understand where the resentment comes from. And according to this article that had a very, very healthy dose of speculation, Jeff Bezos wasn't lenient enough against the Saudi Arabian government, and therefore the Saudi Arabian government had the motive, which would be revenge, and the means in order to extort Jeff Bezos.
Where were they going with this?
That's it.
Just, were they planning on having him pay them off an exorbitant amount?
Yeah, that's what extortion is.
No, I know, but then not have it public news, or were they
guess.
were they just gonna make it public and then have them what?
It would be the first one.
Okay, it just seems like
Because if it's public, you have nothing to gain.
Saudi Arabia's probably right now kicking themselves like we were so close.
But I mean, I think that thinking that Saudi Arabia is behind an extortion attempt on Jeff Bezos is pretty far out there.
Who reported that?
The Verge reported this, so
I don't even
They're,
know them very well.
they're a little fringy.
Are they out? They're I was about to say outskirts. Fringe is the word I was looking for.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, if I had the means to extort Jeff Bezos, I'd probably try.
I mean, it's illegal, and
It's only illegal if it becomes public.
what? It's only illegal to kill somebody if they find out,
Right.
and they're gonna find out when they wake up dead.
How you gonna wake up dead?
Oh boy.
So on other scandalous news, Apple is screen recording.
Yeah, did you see anything about this?
Nope, I'm waiting for you to expound on it.
Okay. I don't know why I keep asking if you've seen anything about it. So several apps, and I can't remember which ones, have been recording your screen when you use your iPhone in order to, I guess, get data on you. But they do it without telling you.
Oh, that's
So,
not what you want.
Yeah, Apple's in a bit of a issue over this, and they're kicking these apps off of the App Store now if they don't disclose that they're recording your screen. But most of the time, they don't need to record your screen, so it's a bit sketchy.
What were they recording off your screen?
The entire thing.
What
What
you're
you were
looking
looking at, yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Don't want someone
So-
looking at that.
So it's just once you open the app, it just kept recording.
I think so, yeah.
That is rough.
Sketchy, right?
I wonder if it's Instagram because
No, I think it was things that were on the border. Why?
Instagram you could talk about something to your friends and you will see an ad on it on Instagram the next day.
Yeah. That's always sketchy.
I don't know
When
what.
you say talk about, you mean be in the room with your friends and talking about it out loud,
Yes.
and then yeah.
So we were talking. The one time that I was just completely blown away was we were talking about sushi at one point, like a couple weeks ago, and for the next 3 days, all the advertisements I saw were for sushi in my area and like other like delicacies.
Jesus.
And they were all like the wording beneath the captions all felt like verbatim to what I said or what we had talked about.
Nice.
So I don't know.
It's concerning.
It is. They explained it by saying that they can guess what you want to see by your user activity, so they can guess. But it's so accurate, and the advertisements are so recent to what I've been talking about, and I've never looked up sushi on my phone at any point, so I don't know how they know that.
So did you find that concerning?
Yes, in fact, I turned off my mic to my phone.
Wow.
So like I can't use Siri right now, which is fine. I never used her anyway. I can't ask Siri a question.
I guess you get phone calls and everything still.
Yeah, but that's app using. Like my mic isn't just listening for.
Oh yeah, I gotcha. So let me draw a parallel for you.
Okay.
You found it concerning when an app was listening to you without your consent and recording what you were saying and using that for its own personal data, whatever. So these home speaker devices, like the Amazon Alexa, the Google Dot, people are putting them in their homes, and they know that they're always listening.
Yes.
And tailoring your advertisements and all kinds of weird stuff. Why is that one okay? Is it because you're consenting to it? It's still creepy, right?
It is. I won't ever get one.
Okay, yeah, me neither.
Mostly because the idea of someone constantly listening to what I'm saying bugs me.
I saw something about a really, really weird experiment where some people, I think it's 3 different houses, are being controlled by we'll just call it an Alexa device, right? Except for instead of it being Alexa, there's a person in a different area. So it's just like some building in New York. You go into it and you sit at this table, and these people, like when they want to play music, they'll say, person, play music, and then you find the music and you play it for them. And they're like, person, turn off the lights, and you click on the thing that turns the lights off.
Didn't Black Mirror do a project have an episode like that?
I don't know.
So what they did was I don't know if you took a personality test. I can't remember the episode, but you yourself was copied as an AI, and they basically trapped this AI.
Oh yeah.
Yourself. They trapped a miniature version of you in a cube
right.
that controlled your entire house, and it catered exactly to what you needed.
Right.
But then they also were like punishing them because these AI were acting like humans, and they were changing time on them because they couldn't tell the difference.
Mm-hmm. They're torturing them basically.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
But Black Mirror is great. The episodes I've watched, I've enjoyed. I thought they were really good.
The first one is the very worst one.
With the pig?
With the pig.
Yeah.
That one, so none of them are continuous, but that one is so different than the rest of the episodes and is just the grossest and the weirdest. And you got to think that must have been a pilot. Someone had to watch that and say, "Okay, make a show." I mean,
it seems awesome.
Yeah. But the rest of them, some of them are, well, actually most of them are creepy. At the very least, creepy, but super interesting.
Yeah, the questions they bring up about
technology and where it is and where it's going. Yeah. It's very thought provoking. While we're on the subject of technology, I have some video game news that we could talk about real quick. Okay. But before we get to that, I forgot about this. Sorry. Do you see the Ariana Grande tattoo?
No, I didn't, Brendan.
Okay.
You knew I hadn't seen most of these.
Okay. I don't know.
You gonna show me what it is?
So Ariana Grande, I believe, did a single, called Seven Rings, and so she did it with the Japanese theme, and she got a tattoo that is two characters, which the first one means seven and the second one means rings. However, in Japanese, together, it means a small barbecue grill.
That is, I don't understand why someone who only speaks English would get a foreign tattoo. Because could you imagine if, Japanese people started getting random American words put on them, what we would get out of that?
Oh, did you watch the most recent episode of Grand Tour?
No.
I figured we wouldn't have time to watch it tonight together, so yeah, we watched it last night. There's a case of that in there, where a Chinese lady's wearing an American shirt that says he was a fucking asshole. It says it all over the shirt.
And she has no idea what it says.
Probably not.
It says love in America.
But wouldn't that be so much fun to be an American in China and just make t-shirts that say like really crazy or rude things on them in English and have Chinese people buy them because they think it looks cool and exotic.
And since they don't have any rights over there, you couldn't get in trouble either. So let's quickly hit the video game news.
Okay. There's the biggest one's probably Blizzard. So they did their quarterly earnings, or I guess this will be the end of their fiscal year. They had the best revenue year ever with $7.5 billion in revenue. I think that was up from $7.2 billion or so last year. But that's a lot of cash. And then after that, they laid off 8% of their workforce, which is about 800 people.
I take it their cost has gone up as well as the revenue?
I don't know. There has not been a good explanation from Blizzard about this. But I thought it was kind of weird.
Apex, and building off of that, Apex has really, really cut into Fortnite, I've noticed. Fortnite made an update that people like the public had been asking for since they started doing major updates. People were asking for these changes to be made, and they finally did them now that Apex is out. And I believe the game is 10,000 times better now that they've done those fixes.
10,000.
Like, I really like the game, and now it's back to when I started to play it. Like, that's how much enjoyment I get out of playing it.
That's good. Oh, so remember last week where I said I didn't know who DJ Marshmello was?
Yes.
So, I take that back. Turns out I do know a lot of DJ Marshmello's music. I just didn't know him by name. So, Sarah, I'm not an uncultured old man.
Did you have someone reach out to you and let you know you're an idiot?
Yeah, one of our new listeners in San Diego, California. Shout out. Yeah, called me an uncultured old man for not knowing who DJ Marshmello was. I just don't know him by name. It's okay. So, speaking about Apex, every single review that I've seen of it on like game websites and everything, every single review I've seen is positive.
Yes.
100% of them are positive. And it makes me wonder if it's actually that good or if people are just jumping on the train.
I think it's because it's not Fortnite is why it's so good.
Okay. But
because Fortnite, for people like the stuff I've seen online, people who don't play Fortnite hate Fortnite. And
there are some good reasons for that.
I mean, but they hate it because it kids play it or something.
Right.
Well, that's almost every video game in the world. Kids play it more often.
Well, see, my biggest beef with Fortnite is that it's really cutting into other good video games that are losing money and attention. But neither here nor there.
I personally think Apex is trash. It goes on the trash pile for me.
Well, your computer can't even really run it.
Well, because I have a friend who gave me a 3-legged dog.
You bought it.
I didn't know.
I told you.
You told me it would work, but it barely runs.
It'll run, just not well and not fast.
Yeah.
So in their first week, they hit over 25 million players and well over 2 million concurrent players, which is super, super impressive for the first week. I mean, it took Fortnite many months to get to that point. And that was just in players. That wasn't even concurrent players. It took them a while to hit over 1 million concurrent players. This is just absurd. So I'm happy for them. However, I'm also a little irritated at them because they have 8 characters you can play as.
There are 8 characters.
And they've come out and announced that 2 of them are LGBTQ PITW or whatever the acronym is.
What is going on with this, with people just throwing it out there just to be inclusive?
Nope, that's it. It's how you say virtue signaling. I mean, okay, so first off, that's just yeah.
I think it's I'm not a part of that discussion. I'm not for or against it. It's just I don't understand what that does for the game by announcing something like that.
I think it really is just virtue signaling. It's not that they're trying to be inclusive. It would have made sense maybe to include one. And I guess in its defense, there is a bit of lore and background behind each of the characters.
Okay.
So it's okay, I guess, but it's just not even remotely significant. And I mean, Overwatch just did the same thing. One of their characters came out. That sounds real weird.
But he did come out.
He did come out, yeah. He came out as gay, and it's like, why? This has absolutely no bearing on the game whatsoever.
The game doesn't even have a story mode to play that backstory.
I mean, it has actually some really good animated shorts, but it's not like there's anything wrong with it. But just virtue signaling is the impression that I get, and that a lot of people get.
It doesn't seem genuine to me.
That's what I'm looking for. It doesn't seem genuine.
It's not. It doesn't feel genuine. Speaking on this is, who wrote the Harry Potter books again?
J.K. Rowling.
Her.
Yeah.
She has been tweeting recently. She wanted to say something that Hermione hasn't actually been casted as, she's not actually a white person. It's ambiguous, and a black Hermione's fine, even though in the book there are very clear textual clues that say Hermione is white.
Like she has long curly red hair.
Not only that, but she's also got a white face.
Oh.
It literally says a white face.
Oh yeah. I'd say that's pretty clear.
Yeah. And it just it irritates me that she's trying to stay relevant by being ingenuine to her fans. By just going back on things and adding it in.
That seems to be the way people are doing things nowadays.
Like, write genuine books then that have that included in it.
Right. Don't add it in after the fact, especially when it didn't belong.
It's a 15-year-old book.
Yep.
Or older. I don't even remember when the first Harry Potter came out.
I think it was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Late 90s maybe.
So almost 20 years book.
Ooh. Yeah, I guess 2019. I'd put it at about 1999, so.
Okay.
About 20 years old. That's been a long time.
And on last Battle Royale news is PUBG won Game of the Year Steam Awards.
Which I didn't find all that surprising, but I mean, it just goes to show Battle Royale is popular. Sorry to disappoint you that this is not the last Battle Royale news.
Oh, it's not?
Because first there was PUBG,
right?
Then there's Fortnite, then there's Apex. Those are the three big ones, and then there's a lot of other tiny ones.
Yeah.
The newest big one is...
I don't know. I don't even guess the name of it.
Tetris. Tetris Battle Royale.
Well,
it's called Tetris 99.
Is it... Can you explain to me how this works? I just imagine a lot of people trying to fit a block in a place it doesn't go right now.
So the concept is actually kind of cool. I hate I hate that they called it Battle Royale, but the concept's cool. Everybody has their own little Tetris thing. I'm assuming everybody gets the same pieces, although I don't know that for sure. But when you clear a line or 2 lines or 3 lines or 4 lines, which is the max, you send garbage to other people that they can't really fill in that well. And then when you kill somebody, when you eliminate someone with that garbage,
yeah,
you get all of their power-ups. Those power-ups let you send more garbage, is how they call it. And you can choose...
desperation at its finest.
You can... Yeah.
It should be called Desperate 99.
I like the concept. I do.
I think competitive Tetris is funny. That seems great to me.
Yeah.
I would watch it for a solid 10 minutes and then never watch it again, but I'd give it 10 minutes.
It's definitely jumping on the train. Jumping on the bandwagon.
Are they going to make Chess Battle Royale next?
I don't even know how you do that. Well, then again, a week ago, I'd have been like, how would you make Tetris Battle Royale? But
so
they found a way to do it.
I don't even know how many players are on a chessboard. Do you know off the top of your head?
2? Oh.
How many pieces?
I believe it's 20 per side.
So you have 20 players on each side, and they can actually cause physical damage to each other. That'd be a cool chess royale. Unless you're a pawn, then it's not as fun for you.
No, that wouldn't be funny at all.
What do you mean? It would definitely be funny. I'm not saying
it wouldn't
kill
be
each
fun.
other. I'm not saying they kill each other. Just like kind of like the Harry Potter style. Back to Harry Potter.
What?
We're in the second movie where they have to play on the chessboard. That's the first movie, maybe.
I don't know. I'd never watched the movies by choice.
It's the first or second one, I think. They have to go on an animated chessboard and play as the pieces.
Interesting.
But I'd be down if someone came up with something like that.
Okay. All right. I'll keep that in mind next time I'm making a video game.
You can hop on the bandwagon after I make my first computer.
Okay. I think that about covers it, but I want to end with something very disappointing.
You always disappoint, so.
Thank you. I'll try my best.
Underwhelming for minutes.
So you know Dark Souls, right? Dark Souls is
Yes.
a very hard game to play because the computer tries to kill you all the time, and the mechanics are unforgiving, and you have to do it with intense concentration. So there's this guy whose name is Happy Hob, and he has perfected the art of running through Dark Souls as quick as possible without getting hit at all for the entire game.
Okay.
So, he recently tried to do a no-hit run of Dark Souls, starting with Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, then Dark Souls 1 through 3, and then Demon Souls. And that would be all 5. They're called Soulsborne games. So, he did it. He started it. He completed Bloodborne, completed Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 in order without getting hit for all of it. And that took him 12 hours.
Okay.
And then he started up Demon Souls, and for the first boss, the tutorial boss, he got hit. So he's wasted 12 hours trying to do this stupid thing.
That's called a letdown.
But what's even more disappointing is he spent months doing this. He spent months getting to that point of just repetitive
it wasn't
grinding.
concurrent 12 hours?
This one was 12 hours, but he spent months getting to the point where he can even complete 4 games at a time without getting hit. This is just one of his last attempts.
Well, if that was me, I'd give up right there. So, can our listeners expect anything new from you next week? Or is it going to be the same stale marriage you've had?
It's probably going to be the same incredible marriage that I've had.
There we go.
Racking up those points. Shout out to my number 1 fan, Casey. Let's wrap this up. You got anything else to add?
I don't have anything else to add.
All right. Well, thanks again for listening, guys. You're listening to Launch Speed Podcast. Feel free to reach out to us at launchspeedpodcast@gmail.com with any sort of suggestions or things that you want us to talk about, or even if you just want to shout out.
And also recommend us to your friends because we're on any common podcast site.
As far as I know, we're on every, but there's probably some that I missed.
Yeah, but we've got the major ones.
We've got all the major
Spotify,
ones.
Google, iTunes.
And Spotify is pouring a lot of money into podcasting. So if you want to support a small company that is really struggling to find their ground, then you can go ahead and download us on Spotify if that's easier for you.
There will be a short special coming out next week. If you got 30 or 40 minutes, it should be its entire length. Just a little bit of extra bonus content. We hope you enjoy it. Also, leave us those 5 stars and a review. Only if it's positive. If it's negative, we'll delete it, even though we don't have control of that.
Don't forget to smash that like button, and thanks for listening.
I don't know why we're doing any Patreon specials. They're these things.